1. The ground beneath you begins to rumble and crack. You look around at everyone around you, all of the Ashborn in the audience. Around you, Raldir, and Patan. Grafford off to the side, with the Ashborn focusing on maintaining their spells and keeping the smokescreen above you going. Yizet, as you begin to make your way towards the blacksmith of Irongrove, surrounded by infantry of the Phoenix Rebellion, the ground beneath you begins to tremble, and you can hear lightning in the distance booming. And suddenly, the earth ruptures and splits into huge ravines, swallowing whole groups of Ashborn, all spidering and cracking out from a single focal point, hovering 60 feet in the air above the ground, with stark white curly hair that was once brown and vibrant and full of small branches and twigs. Torgeth Woodnot, son of Korsif Woodnot, with outstretched arms, calls forth lightning from the thick clouds of pluming ash and smoke above you. The concentrating Ashborn near you, Grafford, immediately are caught in surprise as a ravine opens beneath them, swallowing them whole. As chaos ensues, the sound of hundreds of thunder cannons wielded by these Ashborn are readied with the cacophonous sounds of clicks. Silence fills the air, followed by the sounds of the thunder cannons being readied and pointed in the direction of Twig. What do you do, Grafford?
I don't think I do anything.
You look up in surprised awe, and you immediately recall to a few days ago, when you had left on the airship after being sent on this scouting mission, when you had first made contact with the Ashborn as they assaulted your airship. Torgeth, assuming a similar form to the one he did before, hovers there, ominous and silent, as streaks of blue energy and lightning dance between his fingertips, curling up his arms and ricocheting off of his outstretched hair. You look to your left and to your right, 2 huge ravines completely avoided you. And for a moment, the air stagnates. Raldir, you are on your knees after the decision that you just made twists and turns like a jagged dagger in your stomach. You look up. A childhood friend of yours, now filled with some fury beyond any understanding that you have, raining down upon these Ashborn. Patan, you stand nearby, looking and gazing towards Raldir, and your eyes look up to meet Twig. What do you do?
I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna remain silent for now.
I'm going to try to compose myself a little bit, wipe
Make
my
a wisdom
eyes
saving
off,
throw.
honestly. Oh, okay. That is a 14, or 16.
16. You need to beat a 15.
Ah.
You pull yourself up to your feet very slowly, but you do so.
And I'm going to kind of not point it at him, but I'm going to have my thunder cannon ready. Like I'm going to ready a shot, but I'm just gonna hold it across across the chest kind of style.
Point of order, which one? Because you have both now.
The advanced one.
Okay.
Mach 2.
Yeah, Mach 2.
Patan would now like to check if Raldir is okay, just quickly.
Everything is moving very suddenly and very quickly. So you begin to move forward as everything around you begins to shift and turn, as the edge of chaos begins to come closer and closer to its breaking point. Is that you hear the sounds of everything going on about 200 or so feet away from your current position. And all of the Ashborn around you sort of stop and reach for the thunder cannons that are strapped to their backs. What do you do?
Yizit has a weird feeling about this. Is there like a march leader kind of next to me, or like a commander, something like that?
No, just a simple escort.
Okay. How far away are they from my walking position?
They're about the circle around you of Ashbourne or the square?
Whoever is containing my presence.
They are in a 5-foot radius around you. There's about 8 of them.
All right. I'd like to reach out and gently, by my standards, cuff one across the shoulder and say, "Half of you go back. The rest come with me."
They all sort of just look at each other and sort of begin to speak in this tongue that you don't understand. And they look back at you and each other, and whatever threat is going on in the opposite direction, they realize it's probably pretty significant. And 5 of them leave.
Okay, so I've got 3 with me.
Yes.
Not looking at them, I'm going to draw Dragon Maw off my back and hold it loosely down by my side and continue walking toward the blacksmith.
And you do so. And as you turn and take the next few steps forward, you are deafened by the sound of hundreds of booming thunderclaps all at once as the thunder cannons in the crowd are fired off. Those of you who are in the square, if you have anything you can do as a reaction, now is the time.
I'd like to use shield.
Shield is only for you.
You know?
Let's see.
I'm not
Alright.
going to join in.
Burn the spell slot.
Reaction to do what exactly?
Just whatever you would do to react to the just storm of bullets heading in his direction.
I'm just gonna watch what happens. I'm not gonna shoot yet.
Grafford will look away.
I'm gonna look towards Twig still.
And you watch as all of these small, rounded spheres of metal with lightning dancing between them fly in the direction of Twergith. And you, Grafford, you look down to the ground. You don't want to see what comes next. You don't know what's going to come next, but you have a pretty good idea that it's not going to be good, whatever it is. So you look down, and from the ravines, you see this brownish tendril for a split second before it flies out in the direction of Twig, as these gargantuan tree roots that run underneath Iron Grove from the just tremendously huge trees that encircle it come up to defend him in lightning quick reaction and form a shield between Twig and the Ashborn. After the first round is fired, everybody begins to go to reload, and the roots break off, and almost like the heads of rearing snakes coil back and dive into the crowd. Raldir and Patan, you're sort of standing near each other towards the center of this crowd, and these tree roots are flying towards you at tremendous speed. And just when they seem that they're going to make contact with you, they move around you, and you watch as about 8 of these Ashborn are impaled through their chest and raised upwards about 80 feet before being flung towards buildings. I'd like everybody to roll initiative. This is the only initiative roll that we're going to do for the entire session.
Is that including me?
Yes.
That's a 5.
16.
Uh, 8.
Grafford?
11.
Alright. In the midst of all of this chaos, the bodies that are flung into the air as the Ashborn fall, they explode into ashes that begin to descend like burning cinders, slowly and harmlessly, but similar to snow. Grafford, I'd like you to make a history check.
Let's see here. 19.
You've been counting. In the back of your head, against everything that's been going on, you've been counting. 601, 6, 559, 558, 557. You're still counting, waiting for when the people, the defenders of this city, would return. After taking into account all of the various calculations and how long it took to fly out there by ship, you've done all the math, and 5:45, 44. You're counting as you're still looking at the ground. Now, for the purposes of this, We will go in combat initiative order. So, Titan, what do you do?
I don't really want to attack just yet. And I want to try and talk to Twig. I'm trying
Alright.
to like convince him to like just stop and like don't hurt anyone.
Twig is currently 60 feet in the air, surrounded by coiling snake-like, tremendously large tree roots.
I don't have fly. Oh no.
No, but as you look forward, and you look up and you look around you at everything that is going on, a couple things just flash before you. The first time you had come into Iron Grove, when you had entered with the use of Raldir's signet ring, when you were captured, and the first meeting that you had with Raldir's sister. And how clean and vibrant and lively and spectacular the castle capital of Iron Grove was. To its now desolate and destroyed war zone that it is in now. And you look up at Twig, and as you look up at him, another memory flashes in front of you, and you see the first time that you had seen Twig, which feels like so long ago. And you remember just seeing what looked like this young, shy, elven boy being terrified of Yizit and his large size, to the now contrasted, lightning streaking creature that he is now. But you see past that, and you want to get to him, and you don't have the magic to do so. So, you look up, and you feel this sort of warmth in your chest that very suddenly spreads in two ways, going up your neck and around to your back as you begin to rise into the air. The rest of you see Titan with her flowing green cloak that she's always worn, outstretching from the shoulder blades. Two long flowing sheets of leaves of the autumnal colors fan out from behind her as wings. What do you do?
I'm gonna be kind of surprised, because it's like, alright, well, I mean, I've done that before, but I'm gonna be mainly surprised at what they look like, because they do not look like mine. So I will be standing in shock and awe for a second, looking away from Twig.
Efford, you don't see this, you're looking at the ground. Titan, what do you do?
Titan is gonna fly up to him.
Ares, real quick,
Yeah.
check your DMs, please.
What do you do, Titan? You fly up to him, then what?
I'm gonna try and convince him to calm down and to stop hurting everyone. Like, this isn't gonna help anything. This isn't gonna solve anything.
Well, get into your character voice and speak.
Twig, please stop this. This isn't going to help anything. You're hurting people. You're killing them. This isn't you. This shouldn't be happening. They didn't try to hurt you guys in any way.
Twig isn't even looking in your direction, and you can see where his beautiful emerald eyes had been before are just pupilless white. What else do you do?
Can I fly over closer to him, or are they like?
You had to use your full movement to get to where you were.
Oh, okay. Guess I'm just gonna keep, I'm gonna try and beg, I guess. Just keep trying.
Well, that comes to the end of your turn. Grafford, what are you doing?
I'm going to look up, dreading the worst, and preparing myself.
And as you raise your head upwards, expecting to see a twig that had been torn asunder by the incomprehensible damage that amount of thunder cannons could do to a single person, you see Twig just perfectly fine. In fact, better than he was before, as these coiling snake-like tree roots swarm around him, and you see Patan with wings of leaves of oranges and reds and browns flowing out, trying to call out and yelling and choking at the words, trying to get his attention, but you can see that they're falling on deaf ears.
I'm gonna prepare for the worst and get out a healing draught, because I am thinking this is gonna go in a very bad direction. And I'm going to head back to the stage, or as far as I can go.
Alright. You do make it back to the stage with your full movement.
And I will look for Raldir.
Make a perception check.
15.
You see him. He stands out, very much so, against the rest of the Ashborn. Although he is wearing the same clothing, his stark white hair just is a beacon.
That's all I wanted to do.
Alright. Is it? What do you do?
How far away is the blacksmith?
From your current position, about another 120 feet or so.
Yizit is going to grab Dragon Maw by the blade and hold it out to one of the Ashborn. And with his other hand, he's going to point toward the blacksmith and say, "Take it there."
Make an intimidation check. With advantage.
Uh, 14.
Alright. They look at each other once again, and you essentially drop it on one of them. And its immense size is almost enough to crush one of these scrawny humanoid Ashborn. So it takes two of them to carry it without harming themselves in the direction that you pointed.
Are they moving that direction, or do they seem like they're going to?
Yes.
Yes, it turns around. And he's going to start slowly walking back toward the noise, and it just gets faster and faster and faster until he's at a dead sprint. And he's ripping his armor off as he goes. And there's a sick green foam starting to come from his mouth.
Reach up to your shoulders first, and the leather straps that kept the piecemeal leather on you and the chain shirt that you had, you pull at the connections and fling it to the side as it falls far behind you as you break into a sprint. Piece by piece, it all begins to fall away.
Using my full turn to move as quickly as I can toward the noise.
And with that, we're all there.
Okay. So, what's it looking like around me? You said the roots went just straight around, just so I'm perfectly
Yes,
unscathed.
and there are columns of roots that are coated in ash after the exploded bodies of the Ashborn they had just previously impaled.
Okay.
Slowly falls around you.
Can I see Twig?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not being, like, obstructed by anything.
No.
So, can I see that he's kind of just not paying attention to anything but what he's done?
Make an insight check.
Alright. Like if I see the words falling on deaf ears. That is a 19.
Alright, I'm gonna shoot you a little whisper then.
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay. I am going to fire the thunder cannon purposefully past Twig, like couple yards away.
Okay. How close?
Like how close to hitting him?
Yes.
Let's go 20 feet just to be safe.
Alright, easy enough. You raise the Mach 2 upwards. It's so much lighter than the original version. It's more slender build. And as you look down the scope, you look at Twig a little more closely. And you fire off a warning shot.
And with that, also, after I shoot, may I be allowed to do like the whistle with the fingers, like the loud one? I can't do it, but yeah.
Sure.
Okay, just loud whistle. I'm just trying to get his attention.
Alright. For the sake of it, make a charisma check, just straight charisma.
Okay. That is a 15.
Alright. Well, by this point, the Ashborn have reloaded and are going to make another attempt at firing at Twig. So unprofessional. I need dice. All right. Uh-oh.
That's what I like to hear.
That's what I don't like to hear.
All of you watch as these tree roots that had once defensively protected Torgath attempt to do so again, as they almost by themselves reflexively go into this defensive stance. They aren't quick enough, as a large amount of body shots do land, and you see a few of them get ricocheted off by this sort of protective barrier of just crackling lightning just above the surface of his clothing. But even still, some pass through all of these defenses, and without recoiling, without reacting in any way, you just begin to see darkened red spots begin to form in his ceremonial cloak, bearing the family crests of the Woodknots. And they begin to reload. And once again, without moving the rest of his body too much, Twig puts an arm up towards you, Patan, with crackling lightning gathering in the palm of his hand, and then arcing just barely past your face over your shoulder, just ever so gently brushing against your cheek as he casts chain lightning into the crowd below. Once again, avoiding you specifically, Raldir, and vaporizing about 6 or so more Ashborn that just explode into ash. Patan, what do you do?
She's just a bit flustered right now. Can she reach him?
She can move towards him.
Alright, I'm gonna
You'll have to dash to get there.
Oh jeez. I'm gonna try it. I don't want to risk it, that's the thing. I'll just keep my position right now, but she's gonna smile at him a little bit, knowing that at least she got a response, or somewhat of a response.
What do you do?
Well, I guess she's gonna continue to try and talk to him. Are you there?
You have to speak louder. The sounds of lightning all around you are deafening. You have to yell to even try to break past it, or Patan's words will just not get heard at all.
I can't legitimately, but
Just saying.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
For the sake of it, make a charisma check. Straight charisma.
Five.
Good to know. You still have an action.
I don't know what else to do for now.
Then with that, we'll move over to Grafford.
How much time is left until the forces return?
4:45, 4:44, 4:43, 4:42.
Well, immediately I'm going to dash towards Raldir. How far away is he?
About 100 feet or so away. So you would need to dash to get there.
Okay. I thought so.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I
No,
have
you wouldn't be.
lower movement speed, don't I?
You do, but it's also easier for you to get through the crowd because of your size. So I'll say with a dash you can get there.
Okay.
Regardless of the distance, because you aren't very hindered.
Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get there and grab Raldir's attention by just tugging on his pant leg. Pretty forcefully.
Hold on, pull my pants down.
You're wearing a belt.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll snap out of it to look at him.
And I'm going to yell. We either need to stop him or get out of here.
Well, that's kind of a tough choice to make. I mean, leaving him now.
Another streaking, bouncing chain lightning flies through the crowd, evaporating another 6 Ashborn.
Leaving him now, he would die.
Leaving now, we would live.
I'm gonna put my hand on Grafford's shoulder, and I'm gonna say, well, sometimes you can't just worry about yourself.
Why do you think I came here?
Well, then why do you want to leave now if you don't want to worry about him?
You remember I told you that they were going to kill everyone in the Beholded Reserve.
Yes. You know what? Go. Start going, and I'll catch up. Just trust me, I'll catch up. I'm gonna say, kind of taking my hand off his shoulder with a little bit of a push. Not like a mean push, just like a go kind of shove.
I'm gonna put my trust in him, but that's all I can do for this turn.
Just for those of you listening, and for the clarification of you four, the timer that is going on in Grafford's head is not exactly the 6 seconds of each round. So don't be counting rounds, just let it flow. Is it?
How close am I now? Since I took a double action move.
Did you use...
I used my bonus to throw the sword. I
I mean, did you use action
Move.
surge to dash again?
No, I moved and then dashed. So
That's another 60. You're still another 140 away. But from this point, you do come around the corner and you see Twig now. And the monstrous fury of nature that he has become.
is he covered from my perspective?
No, you can see him through the swarming tree roots that are just
Well, I mean,
around him.
are they swarming on my side or just toward the opposition?
They're orbiting around him to act reflexively.
Huh. Interesting.
And you can see scorch marks from where some of the thicker ones had deflected shots. As you have seen from traveling with Raldir, what a thunder cannon can do to a strong piece of wood.
I need to look up something really quick. Give me just a second. Okay. How far away did you say he was?
140 feet. Well, the square is about 140 feet from you. You're not entirely sure what his exact distance is from you.
Oh, okay.
Just to get into the area, you'd need to... You still have another 140 feet.
I'm going to pull the 2 hand axes out of my ankle bracers, so to speak. While running?
Full movement? With a
Full
dash?
movement and a dash.
Alright,
Just with a hand axe in each hand now.
that'll get you another 60. Putting you at 80 feet left.
Sounds good. Also, the froth coming out of Yizid's mouth has started to cascade back over his cheeks, and his eyes are solid black.
Raldir.
Okay. So there's still chain lightning around me, huh? I imagine.
Just every so often, just arcing out.
Yeah. All right. So I know Patan is closer than to Twig, by
She's
quite a bit.
60 feet directly above you.
Okay. And flying speed is 30 feet, I believe, yeah? Because she used both turns flying.
She used her movement and her action to fly.
Yeah. So I am going to try to fly as close as I can to Patan. So I guess 30 feet.
So you focus once again on this feeling that you'd only felt twice before. And as you concentrate on this desire for flight, this need to get to Patan as quickly as possible to protect her, you feel that same warmth that Patan felt in the center of your chest expand out in 2 directions over your shoulders to your shoulder blades as 2 arcing white wings of this crackling yellowish energy spread out. You can get up to Patan by using your full movement and your action to move.
Okay, because I would like to say something once I'm up there.
That's a free action.
Okay, then yeah, I'll just use full then.
Fly up to her side.
Okay, I am going to look to her and I am going to just say, okay, we need to go, like, right now. This whole thing is going down the drain. If you can tell Twig that he can come with us, because if he stays here any longer, he is going to die.
Can I respond?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm trying to convince him to come with us.
Well, just keep trying. Tell him that, I said the same thing, and just, I believe in you, but, like, I need to get back to the ship. Grafford's already on his way.
Okay.
323. 322. 321. 320. 319. And as you run through the crowd back in the direction of the airship, Grafford, you see, as you look to your left, as you clear the crowd, Yizit. About 80 feet off.
Fucking going nuts. Sorry, I meant
So he's
naked.
80 feet off.
From you.
Oh, I don't even think yelling would get that distance. Not with the ruckus going on.
And may I interject? This is not a Yizit that you've seen before. Aries, if you'd like to explain.
Well, I feel you have done a pretty good job of explaining what he does see. This completely armorless Yizit with just both of his hand axes on either side, with his huge imposing form just barreling down the road, irisless black eyes, and just foaming green liquid flying out from the side at this high velocity with just the speed that he is accumulating. It's not the Yizit that you've seen. It's not the Yizit that has been
Your Uber.
well, to say simply, himself.
Have I ever seen an animal in this state?
Make a nature check.
If it's high enough, you don't think I have rabies because cold-blooded animals and what that.
15.
You've seen animals enter some sort of primal rage before. Though, one thing you know about Yizit and his physiology is that emotion is not something that Yizit is supposed to be able to manifest. At least in a very familiar way to that of most other humanoids. But,
I'm gonna 360.
alright. In this moment,
And look at him again? 360?
I'm gonna start running towards Yizit.
okay, that's
Oh.
more like a 90-degree turn, but alright.
Oh, it's a 90?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 90, and I'm gonna get out the thunder shard.
Oh shit. Okay. You reach down into your magical bag of wonders, and after moving your arms past the shrunken forms of your workshop, you pull out from the tops of one of the counters your Thunderstone,
It's
I
a
believe?
Thunderstone, yeah.
Yes. Evolve your Eevee.
Jolteon, here we come.
Alright. It's not your turn, but that in that moment, that same sound of all of the thunder cannons being reloaded and shifted at the same time like a firing squad aim upwards towards Torgeth. And while you're looking towards Yizit, 256, 255, 254, and another round of shots fly out. A majority of them, this time, being deflected by the thicker roots. It does not seem that mostly any of these penetrate the high defenses that Torgeth has put around him. And in retaliation, outfires another chain lightning that illuminates the ground beneath you. Catan and Raldir, as another 6 go. And with that, Catan.
She's going to say one last thing before she leaves. You know, you could come with us. We're probably gonna leave now before things get worse. I wanted to tell you something, but I don't think now is the best time to. So if you want to come, please do. Please. It'd be great if you could.
Make a persuasion check.
$16. Oh wait, that's a performance check.
Do you have proficiency in persuasion?
Yes.
Then re-roll and make it again.
26. Natural.
Nat
With
20.
Nat
Yeah,
20.
natural.
Yeah.
Alright. You have allowed me to make a wisdom save. For a moment, for a single moment, as you look forward through welling tears, Catan, you see the beautiful forest green eyes just for a moment underneath the surface of this film of white energy just peek through, and you see eyes of terror underneath. Make an insight check.
Two.
You don't know what's going on. All you can tell is that despite what Twig is doing, he's scared. And with that, Grafford. Grafford.
Hello, Graphic.
I know. I was waiting to see if you were gonna say anything.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna hold my action to throw this Thunderstone as soon as Yizit gets in range. And I'm
Alright.
gonna see if I can knock him out of this frenzy.
Okay. Yazette, I assume you're just going to continue to barrel forward.
Partly.
Well, it's your turn.
I would like to rage. Let me see. Full movement would get me how close?
Full movement would get you to about 20 feet from where Grafford currently is, and you'd get a better idea of how far you are away from Twig.
No, I'm talking about running up the branches or whatever they are.
Well, as I said
Twig is my
before, it's difficult to gauge the distance until you get closer. There's still the whole crowd and the stage. You were essentially on the other side of the city, and you're making your way across.
Okay.
So you're sort of getting a better look as you're coming around the corner of the half circle that is Iron Grove. As you're coming down the side of one of the streets, you'll get a better idea once you get to that point.
I'll do that, but at the end of my movement, I'm going to leap toward Twig.
All right. You have a range of how much with that Thunderstone? If it doesn't give you one, then
30
it's...
feet.
All right. So, about 10 feet before you leap, something comes in your direction. Make a ranged attack check. Grafford.
Is this versus AC or Dex?
It's versus AC.
Okay.
Okay. Eight.
AC 13.
Even with your mods?
Yeah,
That is with the mods, yeah.
it was
Okay.
a 6+2.
So, it does fly off trajectory, but how large is the explosion radius?
15, I believe. 10.
10. That's too small. You miss, and Yizit, as you're running forward, you just hear an explosion behind you, but it doesn't get you off course. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Well, for a little bit of flavor, the explosions and the sounds of these percussive things have slowly been driving Yizit a little crazy. So his head whips around at the sound of this. He's not off target, but now there's blood in the foam streaming from his mouth.
And as you turn and look, it's simply just this small blue jagged sphere that explodes into shards with this loud booming sound. But you turn back towards your quarry. I need the result on that athletics check.
23.
And as you get to the edge of the crowd, you look up in the direction of this force of nature. And just slightly off of your tunnel vision, you can see two angelic beings with flowing wings. And you leap. And you land in the middle of the crowd, just past the stage. Torgeth is
no.
about 60 feet from you now.
No, I was aiming for Twergeth.
Yes, he is very far away from your leap. You land in the crowd, about 60 feet away.
Is he 60 feet vertical or horizontal?
Both.
So 90 feet away?
No.
I'm checking for ranged.
It is 60 feet from your
yeah.
current position diagonally. So
Oh.
it's the same place in space, point Z.
Then I would like to take both my attacks to throw both hand axes.
All right, go ahead and make attacks against AC. You're looking to beat an 18.
The first one was a 21, the second was a 15.
The first one lands and hits its target, directly square in the chest, just slightly off kilter of the sternum as you were aiming for a kill shot, and lodges itself there as the front of it is scorched with the protective barrier of lightning as it expertly flies through all of the swarming and orbiting branches and roots. And the second one is unfortunately not quick enough as the defensive barrier of tree bark forms and deflects it.
5 damage.
Alright.
I would like to use my free action to kind of plant my feet in a horse stance, rest back on my tail, and just Hulk-style roar. Yizit is officially out of control.
And with that, everybody in the square turns to face you except Twig, who is still in this state. And that includes you, Pitan and Raldir, as you look down and you see Yizit, unlike anything you have ever seen him before. It doesn't look like Yizit, it looks like a feral animal. And with that, Raldir, it is your turn.
Okay. Looking at Yizit, I will just say to myself, kinda, I knew we shouldn't have trusted an animal. And I'm gonna look back to Twig, and how close is he? Close?
60 feet away from you, horizontally.
Feet. Okay, horizontally. That's not enough.
You have 30 feet of movement for your movement, and you can still take an action.
Yeah. So firstly, I'm going to look to Baton again, and I'm going to say, alright, I'm going to try now. And so I'm going to go 30 feet closer.
Alright.
And,
as you do so, the orbiting tree roots almost coil up and rear to strike, and then you watch as some of them attack the other ones and hold them back as you approach.
And I am going to cast Sanctuary on Twig.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know, you ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell.
Delta.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I know. I already know that you hit him. I'm not trying to protect him against that.
Within what radius?
Any
Because
attack that is made
Sanctuary-
against him.
Really?
30 feet,
It's
and
a-
any attack that hits him. Yeah.
It
No,
wards him against attacks.
Yeah.
I thought it was any attack originating from 30 feet.
Nope,
No.
that is his cast range.
Yeah.
That is effective range.
Oh.
Yep. And
Okay.
I just hit him. I just got him with it.
Well,
Sorry.
first,
I know-
before anything
I'm already
moves
trying.
further,
Okay.
you have to see if he lets you cast a spell on him.
Okay. Well, I'm
Ooh.
gonna try.
What level is Sanctuary?
Sanctuary is...
Second, I think.
Yeah.
You do manage to cast the spell then.
Okay.
But as you do so, you do see something trying to resist it, but isn't capable of doing so.
And I'm going to yell to him now. We need to leave! Now! I don't know what you're thinking! By staying, are you suicidal?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Let's see. Persuasion. That is a 12.
You have allowed me to make another wisdom save.
Okay.
That's a natural 3. It doesn't seem to do much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your turn. And Grafford, you see everyone around you in the opposite direction of you. 29, 28, 27, 26. And with that, another volley of shots are fired off. But are unable to penetrate Twig's defenses. And in retaliation, the tree roots once again fly into the crowd. And Yizit, you see a few of them heading in your direction. Make a dexterity check as you watch the one hand axe that got wedged in the wood fly past you. Let's see if you are able to grab it out of the wood.
17.
You wrench it free as you watch the exposed, vulnerable body of Torgeth with pools of staining crimson red blood forming underneath the wounds. Most prominent wound, your other hand axe. So you wrench it free as the one that was heading towards you glides past you and impales about another 10 Ashborn, sending another volley of ash descending down.
Delicious.
Patan, what do you do?
Patan really just wants to hug him right now and see if that will help.
Then describe what you do.
Patan is slowly going to...
Well, now is the opportunity to get close, if there ever was one, as the tree roots are still away from him. There are still some that are reflexively orbiting around, but are not gargantuan like the rest.
Yeah, Patan is going to...
You would have to dash and use your action to get over to him.
Yes, I will do that.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
"19."
All you had to beat was a 13 because I rolled a 7. As you fly forward with the wings that you've only ever called forth once before in your past, it feels like second nature as you press your arms against your body and just dash through the air, cutting through like a blade through water. And like a swarm of missiles flying towards you at rapid speed, the orbiting branches that you can now see are extending from the back of Twig's head fly towards you in retaliation, but a few of them are still pulling them off to the side, and you can actually see Torgeth move his arms in a very rapid way, grabbing at one of them and just trying to pull at it with the same dead expression on his face. And through all of this and rapid moving motions, you make your way through until you are face to face with Twig. What do you do?
She's gonna give him a hug and try and comfort him. She's gonna try and reassure him that everything is okay and she's here now.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
"17."
That's not enough. As you reach forward and try and pull Twig into this embrace, forgot about his thin veil of lightning all around him, and you get shocked for 19 points of lightning damage. Now I'll give you two options. Do you break away or continue to suffer through this pain?
She's gonna continue and suffer through the pain.
And as you do so, you take another 24 points of lightning damage, and your vision goes completely white. Grafford. 10, 9, 8. It's your turn.
It's too late to go back to the ship. I'll be thinking. But they're depending on me. I'm gonna book it. I need to get to the ship.
And you do so. Now,
Dash and all.
in the midst of all of this chaos, is it? You feel the scales on the back of your neck begin to frill upwards. Akin to something primal within you, this overwhelming sensation tells you to look upwards, towards the smoke.
I do so.
And as you do so, they descend. Like streaking raindrops cascading from the heavens, the infantry of Iron Grove's defenders have returned and make their landing, one by one, in rows. These small, sparrow-like birds with streaks of silver morph 5 feet above the ground into the gleaming silver armor and adornments of Iron Grove's defenders, of its army. They're back, and they've made it through.
Alright,
I need to add something to the initiative now. It is not quite your turn. You were just the first person to notice this.
Ares, can I ask you a favor?
Well, give me a moment. You watch as about 25 or so fly into the crowd as they unsheath their weapons and turn into their humanoid forms. And at that moment, the bloody conflict has truly begun. Now, Yizit, it is your turn.
That's what I was going to ask you for the favor for. Will you log on to Roll20 and roll a dice for me?
I can roll a dice right here.
Okay, just tell me what it is.
Natural 7.
Oh, so it's an odd number, correct? Who is closest to me?
There is an Iron Grove soldier about 15 feet from your current position.
Oh. I'll move 15 feet. Make 2 attacks. And a bonus attack.
So, 2 attacks, one, both of them with the hand axe, and then the third one with your bite.
No. It's claws right now.
Alright.
It's 2 claws and a bite.
You're looking to beat a 16.
Alright. They're both 1d4 plus 7.
Well, roll your attack checks.
Doesn't rage also give you a bonus?
The first one's a 20.
Alright, the first one's a 20, and the second one,
A 20.
and the third one.
I think you might be rolling these wrong.
Yeah, I definitely am. I think I left out the D. Hold on. Roll 20 is not recognizing the command.
Just use the dice on the bar with the mouse and the drawing tool. There's a little d20 that you can use.
Oh, okay. I see it. Hold on.
So yeah, you can just go ahead and roll 3 d20 plus 7. Well, don't roll it that way.
You can just look at the dice rolls.
Yeah, I guess.
Totals?
All right. I rolled. It's plus 7, so it's a 21, an 18, and a 12.
Alright, so the hand axe strikes are able to make it through, but your claws cannot penetrate the armor.
So 21 and 18 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Let me look at hand axe really quick. That is a 1d6 plus 4.
The damage?
Uh, 5 and 5.
For a total of 10.
Correct.
So you bring down your hand axe twice. And as you do so, you catch this soldier by surprise, who was already engaged in combat with another Ashborn. And you slice into his back and then into his chest as he turns around, and for the sake of it, make an athletics check.
Okay. Uh, 14.
All right. 12. If you'd like, you can wrench free the longsword that he is using.
As a counterpoint, I'd like to use him as a ramp, basically, to jump towards Twig.
Well, that will be an action.
That's
So-
fine.
So we'll get to that on your next turn. And
No,
I'll go ahead and give you advantage for the athletics check.
action surge. I'll do it now.
Okay? Make an athletics check with advantage.
That is a natural 20 for a 27.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Hold on. I have to figure out roll 20. It is a 3. Haha.
You get battered and knocked off of your stride as the rest of the orbiting branches that stay close to Twig fly in your direction. And you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced by half, and then by 3, if I'm correct, because of your feat.
Yeah, so I take 1.
Yes, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, but it is enough with the strength of it to knock you down, but you land on your feet without taking fall damage.
Okay. I don't guess I have the points to wing an axe at him at this point, because 2 attacks per round.
You are out of actions.
Okay, good enough. But Yizit is now tearing his own face with his claws, and there's just blood streaming everywhere, and he is insane.
And with that,
I would
For
like
the
to
record.
mention something. Patan is currently unconscious, so yeah.
that is very good to know.
Yes.
So, Raldir, it is your turn.
Okay.
And you look around the war zone, and it is horrific. All those days that you had spent with the Phoenix Rebellion, you had pictured this moment since you've heard about the plan. And not once did you expect it to look like this. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna see what is going on with Twig right now, because, I mean, I'm guessing I saw Patan, like, shoot up there.
You also notice Patan's body go limp, but she is still holding on to Twig.
And an axe coming out of nowhere to hit him in the ribs.
Yeah.
Well, point of order, the axe was already there before the embrace.
Fair
Let's
enough.
see. Well, I guess then I will take my my 30 feet of movement to get up on that level.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Let me get there. That is a 7.
You get hit by the orbiting branches, taking 13 points of bludgeoning damage
Okay.
as they batter against you and have your movement as you are flying, and
Yeah.
you can move around a bit easier to evade them. You only get about 15 feet closer.
Not close enough.
And as Patan falls unconscious, the wings fall away and cascade into this greenish mist that dissipates.
Ares,
Yes.
can I say that Yizit sees this?
We'll get to that. Raldir, what do you do?
Alright, well, as I... dang. Not close enough for anything. Jeez.
You can try again.
Well, I mean, would that be an action?
That would be an action to dash.
Yeah, For identify, that's not... What is that for me?
That is not applicable to this situation.
What do you mean?
Identify is to find out magical properties about items.
Oh, about items, so not about people.
No.
Okay.
Detect magic would probably be.
Yeah, well, okay, you know what? I actually have that. Yeah, so... You know what? I'm gonna use my action. I will stay kind of below. Not like, I'm not gonna move or nothing. Like, I'm gonna try to stay as straight on my course as just below them as possible.
Alright, make a dexterity check with advantage. You're getting closer, right?
Well, that was from before when I was flying up.
Okay. What do you do
Yeah,
with your action?
Just to, clarify that I don't want to, like, move any. And I am going to use Detect Magic on Twig.
Okay. As you do so, it illuminates all of the magic in a radius around you that you can see.
Okay.
And you can tell that there is very, very, very strong conjuration and enchantment magic on Twig.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. I guess that's what I'm gonna do then.
Alright. Now, Piton. As you push through the pain, you feel your consciousness beginning to slip. And as you do, and everything goes white around you, everything fades to black. And then white again. As you enter into a space. And everything around you has vanished. And all you can see in this space is Twig. Sitting alone in an infinitely expanding white room.
As soon as Patan sees Twig, she's gonna run over to him.
As you take a step forward, the ground begins to move, and walls of greenery begin to push up past you and between you.
Is he within distance for me to talk to him?
You cannot see him anymore, as this almost hedge maze formed reflexively. For the purposes of this, you can cast any magic that you want regardless of spell slots.
Am I able to use fly? Or no? Because I used it already?
You can cast any of your magic regardless of spell slots.
Patan is going to use fly.
And you try and get above this vegetation, but as you rise, it rises with you.
Do I see any way through?
It's a maze. You can follow through and try and make your way to wherever Twig is. Go ahead and make a straight intelligence check.
10.
All right. and you begin to make your way through, finding lots and lots of dead ends. And ever so faintly, you can hear the sound of Twig's voice. Just
Twig, can you
questioning.
me?
You speak out, and you get no response.
I can't see through.
And now, we'll get back to that. Now then. The Ashborn have a new threat to deal with. No longer are they just trying to fend off Torgeth. Instead, now they have to deal with the returning forces of Irongrove. And as each of you watch the battlefield, Raldir, you see an orangish light beginning to rise up like the vents of a furnace through the ravines that were opened by the earthquake set off by Twig, as those who had fallen beneath have assumed their phoenix form and fly out of them, joining into the fray.
Okay.
Twig then puts an arm up, an extended open flat palm that curls into a fist as those that were not quick enough get crushed as the ravines close. The Irongrove soldiers begin to cut their way through in battle in the war zone beneath, locked in combat with the Ashborn. And with that, Grafford, it's your turn. What do you do?
How close am I?
You've just gotten to the entrance of the courtyard.
I gotta start getting this baby ready to fly.
Alright, and you use the rest of your turn to try and get there as quickly as possible.
Nature check? No nature check.
You aren't even on the ship yet.
Oh my gosh.
You're in the courtyard, running towards it. You still have to climb up the side, get to the helm. Is it?
Yes.
You fall back down to the ground, your feet and your tail ready to meet the fall. What do you do as you touch down once again?
Who's closest? Who is next to me?
Another Irongrove soldier. Well, in fact, that is the closest enemy to you. The closest thing to you is an Ashborn.
No, the Iron Grove. I fix my dilated eyes on him. Or her. I mean, not to be gender specific. And I rush them. Full movement, full attack.
Let's see those rolls.
Yeah. Shipsekia Indicol, yeah. Let me see. That is the same as bite, so I'll use that because the macros. first attack is a natural 20 with a... do you guys want to verify that for me? It's a 13 damage.
Yeah, 7 plus 6, 13.
Okay.
So the dice roll was 7, so that's 14 as you multiply it, and then plus 6 for a total of 20 damage on the first attack, or total.
Do we not apply bonuses on...
Those do
crits?
not get doubled, only the dice outcome gets doubled.
Okay, so 20. Yes.
Second attack.
I hate to say it, another nat 20 for 11 damage, doubled.
So 11 total after the double.
No, 11 before the double. If my people would care to
What was the dice roll?
explain, it was a nat 20
And then
plus
on the dice for the damage.
7 plus 4.
So 7 is 14 plus another 4
18.
for 18 for a total of
Correct.
38. So
Yep.
these are with your hand axe?
No, these are with my mouth.
So you reach down and sink your claws into the shoulders of this Iron Grove soldier, and you reach down and at the clavicle just rip a huge chunk of flesh, piercing through the silver metal armor, just tearing asunder. And on the last throes of this soldier's life, you reach down, close your jaw over the head, and just crush it, spewing blood everywhere, coating the ground, mixing and painting with the ash that has already fallen there and formed a thick layer of gray snow. Painted with the splatter, the body just falls limp to the ground.
Is there anyone within 5 feet of me?
Yes, there is an Ashborn.
Not worried then.
That is the end of your turn.
I still have a bonus action, do I not?
You do.
I would like to bite one of the bodies again. But this time I'm going to do a death roll and really just mess them up.
So on a new target.
No, a dead target.
So the closest one to you is the one that you just dropped.
Fair enough.
So you pop down onto the ground, extending down onto all fours, still holding the body as I said, it went limp. It went limp. It didn't drop to the ground. It's hanging from your mouth.
And I want to tear it apart.
And you drop down and you do a spin. You do a death roll, and it just sends blood painting the entire square and just twists and turns and pulls off with this terrible, guttural squelching and cracking and breaking of the bones and sundering of the flesh.
And after that, I would like to stand up and jaw to a full extent that nobody has ever seen before. I want to roar my supremacy over these false-ass pinkskins.
And the ground quakes as you do so. Raldir, make a wisdom save.
End of my turn, son. I'm done.
Let me do that.
You're the only person within range to physically see this.
That's a 10.
That's a failure.
To be fair, may I roll intimidation?
It's more
Not
so
with
about
advantage.
it's not being afraid of Yizit. It's seeing the death of one of his people
Oh, okay. Fair
and
enough.
its gruesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I kind of
So,
went doom
Yeah.
on
Raldir,
them.
Yeah.
you cannot keep yourself. It is horrifying and disgusting, and your stomach turns, and make a Constitution save.
Okay. That is, lucky me, 23.
You
Unnatural.
are barely able to keep yourself from spewing as you put a hand on your stomach and one on your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
as your eyes go wide. What does Raldir do?
Okay, question?
Well, let's get to Raldir's turn.
Well, no, what I was going to say is from Braldir's perspective, what does Yizit look like right now?
A blood-covered, raging alligator.
Fair enough.
Inner conflict. What to do next? How bad is the situation with Patan and Twig looking right now? Because you said that I saw her go limp.
Make a perception check.
Okay. That is a 15.
You can see that Patan is unconscious. But she's just simply hanging off of Twig's body.
Mm-hmm.
Like she could fall at any moment.
I am going to use 15 feet of movement to get up there. As you
Alright.
said, I only made it halfway the last time.
Make a dexterity saving throw with advantage because you're closer.
Yeah. Dex save with advantage. That is a 14. Oof.
You take... Well, actually, you're flying. So yeah, you're good. You get through.
Okay, good. And I am... So firstly, Raldir thinks to himself that this might hurt a little bit, seeing as lightning travels. He is going to try to pull Patan off Twig, because, nothing good can come of that.
Make a Constitution save.
Yep, as Raldir thought. That is a 23, unnatural.
Alright. You take half damage.
Okay.
$23 for a half of 11.
Okay.
Take 11 points of lightning damage. Go ahead and make
Yeah.
a strength check. Straight strength.
Okay. Oof, that's a 4.
It takes a little while longer, but you do pull Patan free.
Okay. And also, when I do, I am going to...
Hold on, I do have to punish you for not making the save, so... 7 points of lightning damage. I got 7 on 2d10s.
That's good for me, though. Alright, and I'm gonna fly back down. Oh, wait, no, I'm gonna...
You used your action.
thinking-
You have 15 movement left.
Yeah, I know.
But it's actually safer the closer you are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm going to think against that and not. Alright, so I have a bonus action left, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I am... Oh, but I can't. You know what? I'm just gonna stay where I... Actually... I am going to use Shield of Faith on Patan, just to, be safe.
Alright.
Which just gives Patan basically a +2 to her AC.
Alright. And do you move away?
No.
Okay, so that is the end of your turn. The Ashborn and the Iron Grove soldiers are going to stay locked in combat with each other. But the more magically inclined Ashborn have ascended from the ravine, those who made it out before being crushed. And they are going to look in your direction, and you hear a voice in your head, Raldir. You need to move. We can't blast him if you're still there.
Do I recognize the voice?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess there's no response to that, because, I have no clue who this is.
Alright. And you watch on the side as they begin firing off volleys of firebolts. Alright. And the larger tree roots begin to move back reflexively and catch flame as they block the flames from hitting Twig's body, but are engulfed in flame as a result. Now then, Patan. The space around you begins to fade and is gone. All that is left is the inky darkness of unconsciousness. Make a death saving throw. What was the roll? We're not getting any audio.
18.
It was 18.
That's one success. Grafford. You hear the sounds of flame hitting wood, the sounds of clashing steel and thunder cannons being fired, the sounds of blood spattering against the ground, and the loud sounds of explosions of ash. And as you crest through the courtyard, you look around at the terrified faces of the inhabitants of Iron Grove that have been corralled here. You see many mothers clutching their children. Tears are everywhere. Fear has been stricken into these people. What do you do?
I'm sorry, but I don't have time for any of them. I've got to get over there.
You reach up to grab the sides of the rope ladders and the rigging that you use to climb onto the ship as the anchor begins to lift up.
Someone's in there already. Oh, God.
You climb up and get to the top
Ponzi.
of the deck. And you see the familiar form of another gnome at the helm. And both of you lock eyes. You still have an action.
Out of the way. I'm getting us both out of here.
Then get to getting everything ready! We need to leave now!
Don't tell me like I don't know.
They won't spare any of you. They're
I've
ruthless.
already been over this. The more time we waste arguing, the
Then
less
go!
time we waste.
And he points to all of
I
the
know what he-
mechanisms.
Yeah. I'm gonna just run over there.
Alright, and you begin to get the ship ready to go.
As I'm doing that, I'm gonna say, get to someplace safe. We don't know what can hit us.
I'm staying on this ship. You promised me you would take me with you.
And I intend to keep the promise.
And you can see the panicked fear of Pensilius. Just deep, deep, deep in his eyes. And you can see that he is trembling with just the overwhelming chaos that is around. Now then. Yizit. What does Yizit do?
Where is Twig?
Twig is 60 feet directly above you.
Are there any of his branches that I can run up?
There are a few, but patches of them have caught ablaze. So go ahead and make an athletics check to try and get your way up there and maneuver across them.
Well, this is plus 2.5, so... That is a 16 and a half. Sorry, fighter shit is weird.
Fighter shit is weird, but we'll just say it's a straight 16.
Fair enough.
So if you use all of your movement, including your action to dash, you can get all the way up to him.
Including to leap onto him?
That would be... I would let you make it, but you wouldn't be able to essentially make a grapple check, but you would be on one of the tendrils that would be within melee range of him. They're sort of snaking and moving around and acting as shifting platforms almost for you in this moment.
Fair enough. Action surge.
You already used your one action surge.
Damn it, I did.
So, if you'd like to dash, you can get up there, and next turn you would be able to do something.
Alright, fine.
Make an athletics
That's it.
check. That was the 16, right? Yeah.
It was a...
You said 16.5 and I said 16. So,
Yeah.
you do so. You reach up and stab your claws into the sides of the wood, being mindful of the flame, but the heat not quite bothering you, as you scale up the side extremely quickly and using your enraged speed to fly up the sides of these branches and these gigantic tree roots and you ascend, going higher and higher, leaping from root to root until eventually you're on one of them that is almost at eye level, with about a 5-foot gap between you and your target.
May I use a free action to bellow at him?
You do so. He
Thank you.
does not react, but now in this moment, you are closer to Raldir, now holding the very visibly unconscious Baton, who is draped limply in his arms. Just in the corner of your tunnel vision.
Okay.
And
My
with
turn is over.
Raldir, you watch this magnificent feat of strength and agility that Yizit is doing, and he makes his way up, and he's about 15 feet from you. What do you do?
I am going to focus on the task at hand. I've seen him do tricks before. And I am going to use... Which one is it? Cure Wounds.
Actually, I need you to, well, instead of sort of going back and fixing this, I was supposed to have you make concentration checks on Sanctuary each of the times that you got hit. So for the sake of this, because you got hit multiple times, we're just going to say you drop concentration.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Sanctuary is no longer on him, just clearing that up.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I am going to use Cure Wounds on Baton.
Right.
Because
Roll.
she is clearly in bad shape.
Roll those dice.
Alright. I mean, it's 1d8.
It is 1d8 per...
Plus spellcasting.
It is
which
1d8
is
per
intelligence.
spell level slot that you use it at. And if I recall correctly, you guys have second level spells?
Mm-hmm.
You can cast it at second level.
Alright, so it would be 2d8 plus 3, because I believe my casting modifier is intelligence.
It is.
Okay. So let me do that. And then plus 3 is 13.
She's barely out of concentration.
Well,
I mean, she's conscious now, but
you're healed. You're at 1. Well, how much did you heal for?
13.
Okay.
Is that negative 12?
So, you're up. And through your vision that has blurred with the grogginess of shaking this off, you look up and you see the angelic white energy radiating off of Raldir's back as you're being carried in his arms. What else do you do, Raldir?
So I still have my bonus action.
She's looking faint, but she's awake.
Yeah, which is good. That was the goal. Well, I took a lot of damage when I tried moving before. Alright, hold on. I will be just a second, actually, with this. This is... no, that wouldn't be safe, actually. You know, I might just end there. I mean, yeah. I really don't got much I can do right now that I would feel would benefit me too much.
All right. For the sake of brevity, the Iron Grove soldiers and the Ashbourne Rebellion stay locked in combat with each other, both sides suffering heavy losses. Another round of blasts fly Twig's direction. I need you to make a dex save, because we don't have reflex saves. Use it.
Yeah. Oh, use it?
Yes.
Ah, cool.
Did you say dex save?
Yes.
Uh, 18.
You manage to just shift your body in such a way as you feel the heat at your back as the blasts fly past you and find their mark, scorching several parts of Torgeth's body. Baton, you see this, and you watch the edges of his robes begin to catch flame. It's your turn. What do you do?
Sorcerers are able to throw hit dice, right?
Only during short rests. You cannot do it in the midst of combat.
Okay. Well, I have cure wounds, correct? I'm sorry, Protector has more.
That is not cure wounds. You have healing hands, which is your
Healing
racial.
hands. My bad. I would like to use that on myself quickly, if I can.
What level are you?
We're level 7.
Yeah, level 7.
I believe it is 7 plus. It is level plus proficiency bonus for healing hands. So I believe that is either 9 or 10.
A 10.
You heal for 10.
Alright. Okay. She's going to speak. I tried, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save him.
At this, I will look down at her, and I'm just gonna simply say, well, to tell you the truth, I don't know if anyone can save him now. He's not the same Twig.
Hope he comes back one day then. We have to get out together.
Yes, but that might be a little bit tricky, as just getting up here, I was hit quite a few times by crossfire and roots.
Maybe we could try to talk to him again and somehow he could help us, just for a second.
Perhaps. I guess I could try again.
I don't think he would listen to me.
Yeah, I guess at that I'm just gonna keep looking towards, I guess, Twig then again.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't move.
No.
No.
Alright. Rafford.
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm flying at the speed of airship back to where I had last seen Torget's position.
Make a piloting check with disadvantage.
Too close to the ground?
You're in walls. And you're trying not to hit the citizens. It's a difficult move.
We had said just natural 20 plus proficiency, right? Or D20 with proficiency.
D20 plus proficiency.
And that's a 16.
You scrape along the edges of the castle walls, but you're able to pull yourself up. It's very slow. There's no wind flying in the city. So you have to use purely what is there and the mechanics and magic of the airship itself. And you begin to make it in that same direction. As you feel a cold spot in the center of your back.
You aren't going to betray me. You owe me.
What do you do?
Why would I betray someone who needs to get out of here? We need to get out of here as much as you do.
You're going in their direction.
I'm not leaving my crew behind.
There was nothing about that in our deal, Grathard. You said you would get me out.
I'm doing what I've got to do.
What do you do?
Now that I think of it. Do you know any magics involving wind?
No, but I know the spell that I am going to shoot through your back if you don't get me out.
Shoot me.
And with that, he does a point-blank ice knife. You feel a shard of ice embed into your back and then splinter and explode inside your body. Make a Constitution or Strength save. I will let you decide.
18.
You're able to hold yourself there. It hurts extremely bad. What do you do?
I'm flying that way, whether he likes it or not.
All right. And with that, as the combat continues, and blood and ash coat the battlefield of Iron Grove Square, bodies are towered over as both sides suffer heavy losses. We look to our friends in times of tragedy and chaos. Time itself almost seems to crawl to a slow as we look over the war zone. Flakes of cinder and sparks fall gently like vibrant orange snowfall. Lightning leaping from ashbourne to ashbourne extended from Twig's arms in front of him as tremendous tree roots impale his enemies, lifting them high into the air. Raldir, you clutch Piton, and you gaze out at everything around you. You watch as Yizit leaps forward towards Torgoth. And as he does so, you see a creature that you've never seen before. A lion's body with the head of an eagle flies through the smokescreen above and descends down onto Yizit with streaks of bronze in its white feathers. It crashes, clutching Yizit in its talons as he was mid-leap, dragging him through the stone and tiles as they are uprooted with the impact of the landing and dragged through the street. The body then shifts and morphs into Captain Bronzetree, holding out greatsword. As he stands over Yizit's body, Yizit, you pull yourself up from the ground, clutching your hand axe, and you meet your foe. What happens next is a gruesome and ferocious battle between these two massive titans of humanoids. Two deep cuts forming an X across Yizit's chest, bleeding more so as the coated, caked blood of both Yizit's own blood and that of his enemies drenches down his body like tears on the cheeks of the faces of sadness, slowly rolling down in these crimson dark beads. Yizit pulls up and retaliates, sinking into both shoulders of Captain Bronzetree, one with his hand axe and the other with his claws, as he pulls him forward and takes a chunk with his bite out of Bronzetree's side, his right flank. Another two, one cutting Yizit's tail directly in the center, cleaving it off, and the other a right jab to the face, knocking Yizit's head to the side, but his body staying still, who then reaches up for the throat and tears out two chunks of flesh with his bare claws, spewing blood everywhere across his face, and then going in for another bite at the shoulder, piercing through Captain Bronzetree's armor and ripping out another chunk. But Yizit, as you are locked in combat with Bronzetree, Yizit, you begin to feel
Ares.
the edges of your vision.
Ares.
I know it
Yizit.
happened. I know it
Okay.
happened. You begin to feel the edges of your vision beginning to blur. Your strength beginning to leave your body. The blood loss is starting to catch up with you. And in that split second of thoughtlessness and fatigue, you feel the sharpened edge of Bronzetree's sword pierce into your chest. As you reach up to pull at the blade, you drop to one knee, Bronzetree looking at you from above as he presses the hilt further, deepening the wound. You feel your arms go slack to your sides against your will. Your body unable to carry on. You look around amidst your friends. You look around amidst the chaos and the cacophonous roars of thunderclaps and clashing metals. And you see your tribe. Rafford first. And as you look at his gnome form, gazing up at the ship, you recall the first days of intensely studying his piloting technique on your travel to Iron Grove and Amali. the first thought of how easy a snack he would have been when you first met at the loading docks of the Beholded Reserve. Raptor, as he clutches Baton in the air above you, as they find their place in this conflict, you recall how bizarre it was that they did not mate upon meeting, and their detestment at your attempts at guidance. You remember being led around and helped by this tribe, your tribe, as you were blinded by Zul, and how they didn't leave you as your kin would have. Finally, you look towards Bronze Tree and smile and laugh. Eh, eh, eh. As you taught yourself to, as it all fades to the darkness. The rest of you watch as Yizit collapses and falls upon the corpses of his enemies. As Bronze Tree removes his sword from Yizit's chest. Raldir, what do you do?
At this, I'm just, do I see, I'm gonna look back to where the direction of the airship would be. And do I see anything? Like, do I see what's going on?
The airship. And as you look downwards, you do see the bloody conflict between the two.
I am going to look down to Baton again, and I'm just going to say, I think it would be best if we leave.
That's what I've been waiting for.
And with that, I'm going to firstly use healing hands on myself. I'm going to take one hand away, and I'm going to put it on myself.
You do so.
Which is 10 again, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna go as fast as I can towards the airship.
Make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Okay. That is an 18.
You just barely beat it. You make it through unharmed.
Okay.
What else do you do? We're no longer in initiative order.
I'm just gonna keep trucking it towards the airship. I'm not gonna look back or anything.
Tom will look back and just watch. And
you watch it happen. You watch Bronze Tree put his greatsword through Yizit.
She's gonna cover her face with her hands.
At this, Raldir is just gonna say, yes, I didn't look back for a reason.
You didn't know it would come to this?
This war has gone too far.
It has. I'm not used to war. My home is peaceful, not like this.
Yes, and I hope we don't have to live through this one much longer.
I don't want to go through it again. I hope we
No.
don't have to.
Let's
As
hope
you-
that we do not.
Wrench your vision away. The last thing you see is Bronstree triumphantly walk about 4 steps away from Yizit before collapsing onto his face, bleeding out from his neck. The giant tears that Yizit had made in his final moments.
Jeez.
Well,
And you make your way over to the airship, and you fly up and touch down. The last bits of your wings that you had as they splinter off into crystalline shards of light and then into mist.
I'm also going to put Patan down, kind of slowly though, just making sure she can stand in her current state. And, do I see Grafford?
Yeah, everybody sees each other, and you see Pensilius as well.
Okay, I'm just gonna get up to the captain's area so I don't have to scream. Or the helm, I guess.
You hear Pensilius first.
They're already here. We need to go now. Before this gets any worse, Grafford.
I'm working on it.
You don't see Yizit.
Before he can, say anything, I'm going to say, just bluntly, Yizit is gone. And when I say gone, he's not coming back.
Off we go, then.
Do I hear the faltering in his voice? Kinda?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Did you get,
Fine.
hit?
Fine.
Patan is gonna make her way to the helm, but she's just gonna watch from a twig from a distance.
And as you begin to ascend, you continue to see the battle raging on until you pass through the smokescreen. And with the enchantment that once held the forest now gone, you see the open valley and the vast stretches of land. And as you fly over them, you can see the ruins and destruction of former villages. Along the coast, you see what was once the village of Snapmouth, a turtle village just off the coast, completely destroyed. You see several small woodland, almost city-like structures completely ruined. As the enchantment had painted over the horrors of what Iron Grove had done in its past. And Pensilius speaks up while holding a sphere of purplish arcane energy. And he looks at all of you.
Now, I want to make this very clear. I am in charge. And if any of you challenge me, I will vaporize you.
and you can see the wild look in his eyes.
Ton isn't gonna really pay attention to him.
You can see the disk of smoke just about where the tops of the trees are as it gets further and further away.
At his saying, "I will vaporize you," this gnome, I'm just going to give a kind of a chuckle almost, just. Look, that's hilarious.
Raldir, don't do anything you're going to regret.
I don't fear him. I've
He-
seen the death of many of my comrades to much greater foe. This thing, he is nothing.
He casts Magic Missile at 3rd level,
Okay.
and that is 5 bolts.
May I make a check to dodge?
3. No, Magic Missile just hits.
Mhm.
6. It's 11. That's 13. And
Can't. Does Baton
you take
still have
18
shield
points of
around
force
it?
damage.
Okay.
How rough are you looking?
I'm alive and I'm conscious.
How rough are you looking? Because your hit points reflect your fatigue. How
Honestly,
tired you are.
I'm looking pretty rough. Like I could fall on my butt anytime now.
Alright. And it blasts you back as the 5 missiles slam into your chest, outstretching from the pure orb of arcane energy in his hand.
I'm going to outstretch my arms, like, just out, and I'm gonna say, it's not that easy to kill me. I'm gonna say with a smile.
Oh dear, you should get some rest.
Pensilius looks over back towards Grafford.
This is unacceptable. I will be respected.
Make an Arcana check.
Who? Grafford?
Grafford.
Okay.
And you too, why not?
Ah, alright.
21.
21?
Not natural.
You know what spell this is. Raldir.
Oh hey, what do you know? I
24.
got a... Yep.
You see that he is beginning to cast
16.
You see that he is beginning to cast Disintegrate.
Both of you, to your rooms now.
Ton is gonna walk over to Raldir and help him to his room.
I'm going to look to Grafford before I get in the door. And I'm going to say, "Yes, Captain." Kind of signifying that that's my captain.
And the both of you descend below deck. Then Silius makes his way up and looks you dead in the eyes, Grafford, still holding the spell in his hands.
You're taking me to a completely different continent. I have a place where we can go. And if you take me there, I won't kill any of you. And I'll try to make up for your loss.
If you could, please check what they did to me. I'm gonna try and put an arm on the mark. Do I remember what it does?
Yes, you remember that given the command, it will strangle you to death from the inside.
Okay, I'll tell him. This thing is meant to kill me. Do you know how to fly the ship?
Just
not-
set it to go. If I knew how to fly the ship, I would kill all of you. Just go by myself. But I need you, and you need me, because I know how to get rid of that thing.
All right.
And he puts a hand on the side of your throat, and he casts a spell that you don't know. I'm still considering your 21 Arcana from earlier, but off of some bluish magical energy that flies around from your neck, you can't quite see it.
I've made the spell dormant. But it will stay inside you, because I can't take it out of you without killing you. When we get to the city, I know someone who'll take it out without asking any questions.
Which
He owes me a favor.
direction?
And he points to the east.
I'll steer it that way. No questions, nothing. I'll just see about finding the fastest route.
And you set course for the east.